we don't call it it's like a modified shuttle. It'll, what we're talking about is Steve Newsman will be here for practice. He'll pick up a SAC bus because he's going to get a ride up here with Telly, okay, from the Lakeview building. After practice, those middle school kids from Wally Auburn that are football and volleyball kids will get on that SAC bus. He'll drop them off at Lakeview. He'll park the bus out by the football practice field. And when high school football and volleyball are over, high school kids from SAC can get on that bus, and Troy Bird will drive that bus back because he has a CDL. What Troy doesn't know yet is we're going to put him on a middle school shuttle bus, though, on the way down. So he doesn't take his vehicle down there, but we'd like to be the first one to tell him that. And honestly, we need some help on one of those buses usually, so bless Troy's heart, everyone's going to know that he's doing that before he does. But we kind of thought through the scenarios of who are the coaches and where are they at. So we think we've got that figured out. Basketball is a whole different thing, just because we have more kids, more teams, long season, and I don't know if you know it, but Telly's leaving town for 10 days on vacation, so we didn't even press him to bring us a more formal plan about what that would look like. That's more complicated than track and golf, than football, wrestling, or volleyball. It's basketball is it's a big tricky one. So
where do the high school kids practice basketball at?
They practice at Lakeview and at Sac City.
So to get to Sac City, do they drive or do we send a bus?
There's a shuttle that leaves after high school. Well, the regular shuttle that brings the Sac kids back to Sac City, the high school kids, because school's over. Sac City kids could ride that, and Wall Lakeview Auburn kids could ride that. Okay, and then at the end of that, we transported them back to just Lakeview. There was a vehicle that ran them back to Lakeview.
Can we save money by practicing in Lakeview?
Yes.
I guess I can't think through that.
We probably could. And we started to talk about that. Kevin was sitting in on that meeting, and we talked about that. Where would middle school kids practice? Where would high school kids practice? And if we looked at it from a transportation standpoint, what would be most economical to do? And I have talked to 4 coaches so far in relation to just 4 coaches and both of the FFA advisors. Because FFA has a lot of activities. You know, we've got band, and we've got choir, and we just keep adding all of that. But I talked to 4 coaches with sit-downs, just talking through. You guys kind of need to be thinking this way, and there isn't a one of them that hasn't come up with some idea or suggestion about, well, we could probably also do X. So I'm finding people helping us out with some ways that we can solve some of these problems. It's sort of like, Scott, when you said, I'll testify to the fact that that shuttle was not used. So I can't answer every one of those.
But when we start talking about $5 and $6 diesel fuel, I think we need to practice wherever it makes the most financial sense. I mean, is there that much more advantage to practicing here as opposed to practicing there? I mean, so I think that eventually, and I think probably the times now as we get this high price, that we need to really take that into consideration. So.
This discussion is not happening because of full grade sharing. It's happening because gas costs a lot right now. So I want you to feel comfortable that if somebody approached you saying, well, this is because you're sharing. No, this is because gas is expensive. Schools for 200 students are worried about gas costs going up. So it's not because of full grade sharing. It's a discussion that each separate school district would have had as well. So.
And one thing I'll just add to that, this is across the nation. Schools are having a discussion. I just did a quick Google search one time about schools and gas prices. It's up in Minnesota, it's in Wisconsin, it's in New York City. They're all talking about the increased cost of gas and what they can do to alleviate some of those costs. I mean, they're doing a lot of the same things we are.
The
and
national
they're having a
superintendent.
discussion with their board, talking about what can we do that's cost efficient and doesn't and makes sense for kids as well.
I belong to the National Superintendents Association, and there was an online survey this week just asking what state was I from, was the price of gas going to influence some things that we would do at school this year. It was yes or no. It's like, oh, we should just put yes. And then there were about 22 things listed. Are you going to be doing any of these things? Just yes, no, and any other comments that you had. So it's a national survey to look at what's going to be anyway, that's a heads up so that when we let parents know, they should know what's going on.
I have 3 or 4 things that go through my head. First of all, then it would be a concern of ours to find out the mileage of any new vehicle that we're going to get. That would be a concern, a definite concern. Because I know when I talked the last time, we got vehicles from Domino's, and I think he does excellent service out there, and I praise him for that. And I never did get an idea as to what we're getting for mileage from that situation. So the proxy.
We bought a vehicle with 12,000 miles and a vehicle with just under 15,000 miles.
Yeah. And then, since I've been around students, and of course I remember my own driving back a million years ago, I get very concerned about student driving and going 75 and above. And that always bothers me, and that's a concern of mine, and I don't think that we can talk, but we can't be there. And that's the sad part. I would like to know what it costs us to send the students for physical education up here, mileage-wise, back and forth.
The miles?
Yeah. What does it cost our district for that?
Well, Troy has no additional, we pay Troy nothing additional.
No, I mean, gas prices, mileage prices, transportation prices.
From the middle school to here?
Yeah. Sometime I'd like to know that.